Hi, welcome to our channel.
I hit dead on with it, though. Actually, perfect. Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be going over this rifle that you see here. First off, I'm just going to tell you this is not the most low-end budget built rifle that you'll ever see, although budget was the #1 priority with this build. When I set out to put this one together, I wouldn't really call it a build. I bought a lot of the components already ready to go and I just assembled it. But when I set out to start doing this one, my whole goal was make it as cheap as I possibly could. And I actually kept up with it all the way down to the penny, all the way, and still be reliable. I have about 15 to 1800 rounds through this gun at this point. I've had 0 malfunctions with it. Also, one of the standards that I had was it had to be able to go at least 500 rounds without a malfunction and without a cleaning. It has done that, majority of that being steel cased ammo and a little bit of brass also. But like I said, this is it was kind of just a fun build, and I just wanted to try this concept of a cheap rifle, an inexpensive rifle, but still be reliable and still kind of have some of the features that I think a rifle should. This thing by no means competes with something like this BCM over here. Trust me, different ball game altogether. BCM is the best in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, I have a lot of other lower end rifles as well, lower end. But BCM is kind of the pinnacle of ARs, my opinion. But anyway, let's just kind of go over this thing. I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can. And I'm just going to go over it from one end to the other. First off, we'll start with the upper. I did buy the upper complete from Bear Creek Arsenal. Okay, so I bought the upper complete with the bolt carrier group and everything in it. The bolt carrier group is MP tested, but I do not believe it is, it's not HPI tested that I know of. It is nitrided. I see it came with the A2 flash hider on the barrel. It is 5.56, 1-9 twist, 4150 barrel. It's got the fixed front sight. It had plastic handguards on it, just the standard ones originally. I picked this Magpul handguard up at a pawn shop for $5, and it was all kind of jacked up colors, and I painted it and threw it on here. I added a UTG rear sight because that was one of my, like I said, I had some standards for this going out. You know, it had to have an optic, it had to have backup sights, it had to have a sling, and it also had to have a weapon light. So all that combined is those were things it had to have. But anyway, we got a UTG rear sight, we got a UTG riser with a Bushnell TRS-25. These little Bushnell TRSs they have really crappy battery life, but they're really actually tough little optics. So it was kind of a no-brainer for this build. Over here on this side, we've got a UTG light. And this is actually a UTG Pistol Light. It's a little 400. You see you got constant on, and then you got momentary on. A little 400 lumen light. It's cheap. I threw this thing on like a Glock 19. Ran several hundred rounds through it. It worked. Mounted it on this rifle. Ran a few hundred more rounds through it. And it's been on there ever since. So that thing's got thousands plus at this point on the rifle. And it's a cheap light, but it holds up, and it's got a decent output. It's got a pretty good throw to be only 400 lumen. So that's pretty much it on the upper. A standard charging handle. The lower I bought is a strip lower. It is a Palmetto State Armory. And then I added a Black Rifle Depot lower build kit. So pin, springs, mil-spec trigger, grip, magazine release, all that stuff is from them. That kit, I wouldn't have upgraded the stock, but that kit came with this Trinity 4 stock. It's okay. I guess it is slightly better than your standard plastic stock that come on a lot of ARs, but it's nothing special. It does have a QD cup here, which I'm not even using, but that is one nice feature. But that just kind of got through in. It was the same price with or without that, so I just left it in there. Also, we've got a shotgun sling because I bought this on eBay. It's a 72-inch shotgun sling, which allows me to tether it to the front and rear here, and I can run it over my shoulder and neck like a standard, traditional 2-point sling like I would use on something like this BCM here. I've got the Magpul MS4. So that's a really cheap way to still have a sling that is still really serviceable. So that's pretty much the rundown on it. As for the price, I know a lot of these budget builds you see online, people tell you how cheap they can build an AR for, but what they fail to tell you is they leave out, you know, the FFL fee and the tax and the shipping they paid, and they forget to add the sling and the optic and etc. I didn't want to do that, so I kept up with it. I've got a little cheat sheet here. I kept up with it to the penny, and as you see this rifle ready to go right now, sling, optic, everything, I have $414.13. There's cheaper rifles out there, but I haven't seen any this cheap that have an optic, that have a backup sight, that have a serviceable sling, and that still have a weapon light of sorts. Not a good weapon light, don't get me wrong, but it's still a weapon light, and it seems to hold up and function. Now, the completely stripped rifle, so no optic, no sights, no sling, original handguard, just a gun that's capable of firing and putting around down range. Doesn't even have a sighting system with the magazine, because that is included in the price there also. I have $305.34. So, you know, roughly 120 bucks to get this thing from just a strip rifle to sling, light, backup sights, optic, flashlight, ready to go. So I didn't think that was too bad. Like I said, not really, like, wouldn't be the rifle I would grab if I really needed to depend on one. Definitely not. It would probably be that BCM back there or others like it. But I just wanted to, you know, kind of just see how cheap I could build one and it still work. Now, I know there's people out there that have built these things for sub $300, and heck, I almost did without even really trying. But I wanted it to still be, you know, functional, have all the features that I wanted it to have, and be reasonably reliable. Well, that about wraps it up, guys. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm down here on the range, fixing to do some shooting with some other stuff. So, like I said, if you have any questions, drop them below. I'll try to answer them. If you have any questions about these, this extremely budget rifle, drop them below as well. You know, don't kill me in the comments. I know this isn't a tough rifle. I know this thing probably wouldn't go 100,000 rounds, but for what I have in it, it is a pretty impressive little rifle. Just something I can throw on the back of the cart there, and heck, don't even think twice about it. That's for sure. But thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.
Do it one more time.
Do it right, left.